Money talk should not be taboo, and it doesn't have to be a very sensitive topic. Simplicity always wins. If you can break down complicated concepts into digestible chunks, you're considered an expert. If you can make life easier for your clients by simplifying their processes, you get more business. When it comes to money, however, people tend to do the opposite. They complicate things, or worse, avoid it completely. A simple, minimalist approach to your personal finances will help you in the long run in both thinking about and managing your money. I have a background in finance and I love experimenting new money management techniques. In this video, I'll talk about the 5 steps that made money easy for me and made it more comfortable to talk about. And for each step, I'll either give you an example or a tip to make that step more specific. The very first step in managing your personal finances is to fix the mindset around money. And I know that a lot of people say it, and sometimes it can get a little annoying because it doesn't feel like an actual step. But people talk about it because it's true. It's so true, especially when it comes to something like money. Our brain plays a huge role in how we think about and how we live our lives. And the good thing is that your brain can be trained in a way to think about things that benefit you in the long run. Money talk should not be taboo, and it doesn't have to be a very sensitive topic. Our finances play a huge role in our lives and how we think about and how we feel about our life and how we go about our day-to-day. And so getting offended or avoiding the topic doesn't really benefit us in the long run. So think about this for a little bit. At this point in time, how do you feel about your money? Do you look at it from a place of fear or anxiety, or maybe just total confusion? You just don't know anything about it. What is your current mindset about money? No matter what stage you are in, pick up The Psychology of Money and give it a read. That book is amazing and it will really help you think about money in a way that is beneficial for you. You want to recognize your feelings before you get into money management and then actively pursue a direction that is going to help you in the long run. This brings me to step number 2, which is defining your why. Now, the basics are the same for everybody. We want money to survive, cover basic necessities, go for a modest vacation every now and then, and eat some good food. Now, a standard job can get you there. In fact, if you're in a technical field, you probably have disposable income left if you know how to manage your spending. But if you're taking the time to watch finance videos, you clearly want more than the standard. Define that reasoning. For me, I want enough freedom to be able to enjoy my work, but also if something were to happen, be able to step away while still maintaining my lifestyle for a little while. And the reason I want that is I learned from my previous experience that having a little bit of money gives you freedom and you can make choices that are good for you. Instead of making survival choices, you can make choices where you will thrive in the future. And money gives you the flexibility to do that. It's the reason why I started my YouTube channel, why I'm learning how to make videos and trying my best to improve myself in other areas of life, learn new skills, because I know that I want enough money to buy myself a little bit of freedom. And defining my reason has been a huge motivator, but also in times where I don't feel like working, it helps me build more discipline. And don't just keep that in your head. Pick up a pen and write down what your reason is. Write down your why. Now you will realize that you either know exactly what it is or you lack clarity. Both things are really good because you understand where you are at. Not knowing the answer is not a bad position to be in. It just gives you an indication that now is the time you need to actually figure out what you want in your life and why are you watching finance videos and why money is important to you. Now that you have the 2 main things done, you got to assess where you are at. And this is where things get a little bit technical. Are you covering all your expenses and meeting your savings or investment goals? Are you able to pay off your debt? Are you able to manage your debt? Do you even know what your current situation is, or are you completely lost? This is the step where you really get into it and find out where you are at this point in time. In my Excel and Power BI videos, I talked about the importance of figuring out the root cause. Root cause analysis, which is basically understanding the problem statement, is important in everything, whether it be statistical or financial models or your personal finances. you have to understand what the root cause is. Budgeting will be your superpower, no matter your income. If you feel some kind of way doing that, address that fear. Are you avoiding numbers because you're worried what it'll show you, or you just don't know where to start? Keep it extremely simple for now. Only have 3 categories. What are your fixed expenses, which is your rent, transportation, and food, and I also covered that in my last video. The second is your wants and other categories. So entertainment, miscellaneous expenses, all of that come into this category. And the third is savings and investments. If you run a business, you will have a 4th category, which is your business expenses. Keep it very simple for now. If you're just starting out, no more than 3 categories. You do not have to overcomplicate things at all. The next thing you will do is define your goals. And you cannot do this if you haven't done step 3. So first figure out what your current situation is, and then you will set your goals. You can break it down into short-term and long-term goals. We tend to make long-term goals which are for a year, 2 years, 10 years, but we don't set short-term goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals. But it's extremely important because our brains cannot understand how to pursue long-term goals without having simple steps to start with. Now, these are just examples, but short-term could be making a few payments towards your debt. Long-term could be saving for something specific or getting to your first 5K or 10K, 100K, whatever phase you're at. If you have debt, list down the amounts and the interest rates so you know which one to address first. If you don't have debt, or if it's manageable, check your emergency fund. Do you have enough for 3 to 6 months? All of this depends on where you are at now, and the most important thing is to start taking a few small steps towards the bigger goal. When you are ready to define your goals, there will be a few questions that you have to ask yourself. The first is, do you even know how to set your financial goals? What expenses are important versus not? What car should you buy? If you can purchase a house or not? Do you want to purchase a house or not? Now, this can get very overwhelming, but if you have done the first 2 or 3 steps, you will see that it will get easier to answer these questions. And this is where the last step comes in, which is to keep learning. Whether you feel confident or not, you have to always keep increasing your knowledge base. If you have never read a personal finance book, start with The Psychology of Money, and it's the same one that I mentioned in step 1. Because it is important to fix your mindset around money first. Then maybe go on to Think and Grow Rich, or Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or read a book that maybe someone you trust has recommended you. And the reason I say someone you trust, because you don't want to read just everything that is out there. You want to read books that will really help you build your knowledge base, and they will help you move in the direction that you have planned for yourself. As you're building your emotional intelligence around money, you want to then start going into the technicals. Understand how debt works and how it affects your net worth. Start understanding the differences between debit cards and credit cards. What money is yours, what you have borrowed. Then you can start reading about consumer debt and why it's so important to pay that off first. There are so many topics around money, and the good thing is that everything ties into one another. So go through the 5 steps and make money really easy for yourself. The good thing about managing your finances is that it's not just math. Like with everything, the quantitative aspect is not the full picture. There is always a qualitative aspect to everything, whether that's in your job, when you're creating models, or when you're managing your personal finances. So this video was all about your financial goals and how to make money management simple for yourself. In the next video, we'll talk about your personal and life goals, and I'll share some examples of how I have set my goals in the last 2 years and where I am at right now. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.